planets come this way to crash into their destinations. The world looks peaceful from the sky. The power of imagination. I felt the flames that tread behind, almost burned and almost frozen. I admitted that some things you can't rewind. I guess I'll have to call it one more night. Another sip of Haley's wine. A heightened state of inebriation. The answers that they hope to find thought to be in constellations, but do they ever stop to hear the wishes made by stars? Some days I dream of chasing comets, head first into Mars. In the stars we find ourselves.
Hey everybody, Mickey here with the Music Room Sessions. Let's give another round of applause to Martin Leroux. First of all, I would like to give you a little present today on the show.
Oh, wow.
This looks way sexier than it is. This is a local Chiba artist named Tony Z. He's originally from Germany. 10 beautiful songs of his on a CD, and you can take what you want from the photo. Yeah, that's Tony Z.
There's a photo of him
There
back
he is
here,
there.
right?
Yep.
Another Mr. Z.
Another Z.
My life was brought to you by the letters.
Coincidence?
Thank you, Mickey. Thank you.
Yeah, please enjoy. Yeah.
Thank you. Can't wait.
Okay, so first, dealing with process of writing.
Yeah.
How do you, not taking into account, like, let's say, inspiration of, you get some inspiration for a song, but how do you write a song, the early stages of getting something from either melody or paper, or where do you start?
It's been very different with me. It's been different. Each song has its own process, actually. For me, I tend to start with a lyric and just sort of build on that. So a lot of my songs were written with a lyric that in my head already came with a melody, and I just structure a whole song around it, find what chord progression works, figure out whether that lyric is the chorus or is it an opener, is it a closer, and just sort of build around it. But there have been times when I start out with the chord progression, with the music, and then write the lyrics after. I guess it's just different with each song.
Have you ever had a situation where you thought you had a chorus, but then it turned out it wasn't the chorus, or vice versa?
Yeah, a couple, actually, a couple. There was a song that I thought, the chorus of it was really nice, and so I was like, this is the chorus. But then I was like, but it makes more sense to have different lyrics every time, so I'm going to make it a verse, and the chorus should just be like an anticlimactic thing. And so that just sort of became that.
Okay.
Yeah.
For you, when you get that feeling, that
Sexual feeling.
well, it could be. It could be. That's usually after, but when you get the feeling that this is a song,
Yeah.
right? Where are you when you get that feeling? Because I've had that feeling where it's like, oh yeah, this is a song.
Honestly, it's after I performed it for people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. After I write a song, I'm like, okay, so this is complete, but I need to perform it, sing it in front of people, see how they react to figure out whether it is an actual song.
Right. Do you have any examples of your songs where you wrote it, then you performed it for people, and that changed what you had originally written?
Yeah, actually. There's a song that I'll be performing later called Waiting by Hachiko, where it started out
Is that Mr. Z again?
Who hasn't done it?
No spoilers, Mickey. No spoilers. I haven't been with that many men, don't worry. But there was that song, and I initially wrote the melody to it, and then I added lyrics to it, and of course it was inspired by what was going on at the time. But then I always thought that it was more of a meditative thing, where it's like, I'm writing this for me, I'll play this for me. Then one day I was like, okay, I'm doing a set, I might as well just play it. So I did, and the reaction I got from it gave me that feeling that, oh, okay, this is a song. This is a good song. You know, if I may say so myself. But that was when I realized that. Oh, yeah.
For that
For
song.
that song.
Right, right. When I was younger, I wrote songs. It was almost like therapy. Just writing the song was, you know, it wasn't for people, it was for myself.
Right.
For you, when you're writing, is there a line for you between therapy and entertainment? Like you're writing it to entertain people versus you're writing it to work through and digest something that you're going through or an experience?
Well, I think for me, songwriting and performing are kind of their own thing for me.
Separate, you mean?
Separate
Okay, yeah.
from each other. Like the whole experience is separate. So when I write songs, it's more about wanting to express things that I can express in daily conversation and in a way that I want to say it. I'm not the most verbose person, so. But then performing it, I think, is the therapy for me, because it's this whole holistic thing of your feelings and this thing that you made that's already there, and just putting it out there and having people listen to it, and you put your heart into it because you know the lyrics. Obviously, it's this whole performance aspect of it. But in terms of entertainment, I've tried to write stuff just to entertain, but it's never worked out in my favor.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why do you think that is? Because it didn't feel authentic for you? That there was motivations beyond creativity, or?
I suppose it just comes down to different strokes for different folks. Okay. You know, I mean, there are musicians out there who are great entertainers, and that's their thing, that's their calling. But then you also have musicians who are storytellers and who just like to express. Then you have musicians who are a bunch of other things too, and yeah, who are a statement, or who are, you know, a comedic outfit, or, you know, we have all of these kinds of bands.
Gimmicks.
So I don't know, I guess it just comes down to why you want to do it. And so I tried to entertain, but that took me out of the equation. And so what was left was, you know, not me, something anyone can do. So why not just stick to what I do and what I connect with?
Right.
Love you're alright. The day I watched the world resign, you were the only thing running across my mind.
There are people who just write very entertaining songs that I may not think so much, deeply about the song, but it made me feel good and I liked it. But I'm as a songwriter, I also am looking for people who show a vulnerability, who show a side of themselves, and whether that's therapy for them or not, we don't know, right?
But I mean, there are days when Earth, Wind, and Fire is all you need, and there are days when Joni Mitchell is all you need.
Right. A great songwriter named John Bryan, he divides everything into performance pieces and songs. And he says, for example, Led Zeppelin, they're not songs, they're performance pieces. If Taylor Swift plays a Led Zeppelin song, it's not really going to be a big deal.
Yeah.
But if someone takes a Taylor Swift song, which are songs, it'll sound great in any genre because it is a song, right? Have you ever gone out of your own genres, your power genres, singer-songwriter, folk stuff? Have you ever gone out of that to write a song?
I have actually. I don't know. Like, I have a genre that I perform, but in terms of what I listen to a bunch of things. Everything from Enya to Slipknot, really. So. You laugh, but I do listen to. They're on the same playlist, actually.
Do you have a name for that playlist?
I think it's like Untitled 3. So the first two are just as random. But yeah, it's like Dream Theater, Michael Jackson, Britney Spears, Enya, Slipknot, maybe Slayer. But yeah,
Amarantine is a great song.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah. Talking about the kind of digesting experiences, what's the longest time frame between an experience and the song for you?
I really don't have a cohesive answer to that because every song's sort of been their own thing. They've had their own timelines. Like Waiting by Hachiko was written in anticipation of the fact. So I wrote
Prophecies.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Because it was about planning what you want to happen. So I was like, this is what I want to happen. And I finally finished it off with a few final lyrical touches after the event. But then there are songs that, I wrote about experiences I've had 10 years ago and things like that didn't really make sense until I sat down 10 years later and wrote a song about it, so.
Do you think the distance gives you more perspective, or do you think the rawness gives you a better song?
That's a good question. The distance certainly helps you write a more positive song.
Okay.
Just because you get to sit back and think about, okay, maybe I wasn't all there that day. But then writing in the moment can be therapeutic too, because it doesn't deny all of the emotions that you're feeling then. And denying emotions is never a good thing anyway.
Sure. So, you played the cover Fast Car.
Yeah.
Now, if you listen to only 2 verses of that song, it sounds really hopeful.
Yeah.
And the third verse just kills you with the reality of even the escape is going to lead to not a very good situation.
Yeah.
Do you take that for your own writing? Do you kill people on your third verse, or kill their hope like she did?
I mean, I hope I don't kill people with it.
Well, kill their hope, or at least smash reality into the dream of escaping. I mean, that's the tragedy of that song, right?
It is, and I think the tragedy of that song is what actually heals me, because there's this hope, and whenever I go through something that, just a hope that, falls apart in front of me, then that third verse kind of feels like a hug. It's like, I've been there, I get it.
Right.
In terms of what I write, though, I feel like I try to build hope more than I try to break it.
Okay.
So I guess if there is a third verse, it would be about, building hope more than anything. But if you're asking if there are any twists and turns, maybe here and there.
Sure, okay,
Yeah.
right. One of my songwriting friends a long time ago told me an expression, I can't remember what writer it was who said this, but there's two ways to say it: kill your darlings or bury your precious stones.
Oh.
Are you familiar with that
No, that's
expression?
the first time I've heard it.
Kill your darlings is the idea that you may really love one aspect or one point of a song, but it's actually the part that's holding the song back from being better. Have you ever had any experience with writing where you thought like, oh, I wanted to keep this part, but it was better to let it go?
Yeah, there were a few. But actually letting them go led to them being a song of their own too.
Okay.
So I think for me, finding out that they don't work and letting them just go off and be their own thing has helped a lot in songwriting. So, yeah. So I've never really killed off any song idea. I've always just sort of made them into their own thing.
Right. When you get that melody, you were talking about how you start with a melody or a lyric. What is the next step? Step 2 from that?
When it comes to melody, if I have a melody in my head, I try to tack a lyric onto it so I know that lyrically I know where it's going. Narratively, I know where it's going. And then, for me, I don't know, when I hear a melody in my head, I can just start humming it, and then the next melodies come, melodies that, match it. And then I build a chord progression from there, and then I write the rest of the lyrics kind of thing. But when it starts with a lyric, I think I try to write the whole story down first.
Oh, okay.
And then add music to it later.
Right, okay. Now, you have a fantastic singing voice.
Oh, thank you. So do you, Mickey.
Yeah, it's a character voice, they call it.
You should hear
now,
my character voice.
Now,
Do it, please.
I will not.
for you, I started, half of the reason I started writing the songs besides the therapy was just that I couldn't sing other people's songs. You clearly can sing other people's songs. So if you're getting ready for a performance, how are you kind of weighing what you're going to cover versus what you're going to give of your originals?
I try to mostly stick with originals, but when I do a cover, I want to make sure that it fits with the narrative, what I'm trying to do. I did sets where it was just a bunch of random songs thrown together, and that never really satisfied me. So when I have sets now, they're clearly organized to fit a narrative structure. So when I throw a cover into there, it needs to add to the whole narrative, or the atmosphere anyway. And I love doing covers where I give it its own life rather than like like I do a cover of Britney Spears' Baby One More Time every now and then, which is a really brutal song lyrically. Like her loneliness is killing her.
It's a dark song.
Max Martin was into some dark shit when he wrote that one. But it's a dark song, and I'm like, that's the aspect of this song that I love, so I'm just gonna make it a dark song. So I do, and then it becomes therapeutic to me too, to put my own spin on things. Because for me, lyrics are like scripts, movie scripts or play scripts or whatever, where the delivery changes based on who's reading them or who's singing them. So for me, I just sort of approach each song with lyrics. And pop music, I love pop music because I grew up around it, but 90s pop music has a lot of lyrics that are very dark actually, even though they sound really happy. And I love honing in on that. Yeah.
So do you use that juxtaposition too, to give a light melody to a dark line, or a kind of dark melody to a more upbeat line?
I think I intend to do that sometimes. Okay. Whether or not they read, I don't know, but I do, yeah.
Right. What do you think is, for the singer-songwriters out there watching us now.
Oh, right? Hello, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, by the way.
Over here.
It's here. If you were to just give one little nugget of motivation / advice to anybody out there who's maybe a beginner, who's trying to figure out how to write a song, what would it be?
Honestly, just try as many different techniques as you can and see which ones stick if you're trying to write a song. And once you find what sticks, then you sort of figure out what your process is and where you can go from there as an artist or a songwriter or whatever. But also, for me anyway, exploring other art forms, like getting into theater was one of the best things that has ever happened to my music, because it opened my mind to different things. And I've written songs that were inspired by movies and books and paintings even. So finding, I guess, exploring other art forms was really helpful for me. So I would encourage everyone to do that too.
Now, this is maybe a strange question. I've seen some of your videos on different YouTube channels, not just your own, but if you go to YouTube and type in Martin Leroux, it's with an X, but it's Leroux.
It's silent.
It's silent. If you go to YouTube, I can see some of your performances, and some of the performances in Tokyo, I can hear just talking and clinking of glasses. How does that make you feel when you're up on stage and just everybody is in the audience talking?
I'll be honest, sometimes it does take me out of the whole concentration that I have, which I try to be there for. And there are people who pay to see the shows, and I don't, want to let my distraction ruin their experience. So I try to focus on that. But there are some times I've played at pubs. Pubs are never a good place to play.
Right.
But I just try to focus on what I do. But personally, it just sort of feels like, I don't know, like if I can be candid with you.
Sure, of course, yeah.
It sort of feels like I'm being silenced. That's how my mind registers, like I'm being silenced. So it doesn't feel good, but I try to just, stay on course.
Right. So you've never just said, "Hey, what are you doing?" You've never done that? Or?
Not for me. I've told people off for other people who are
right. I've done that too. Yeah. I don't have the confidence to say, "Hey, listen to me."
You're like, "Hey,
but like,
she's pouring her heart out there."
Right. Right. Yeah. There's a time and a place, right? I've been in a bar band where you expect everybody's going to be talking. But in some of the more intimate places, I'm really surprised when I hear all that.
Right.
And I have to say that we've had an amazing audience here tonight.
Woo!
Really soaked in your art. So I really appreciate that from all of you out there.
You're all shining stars. You more literally.
Always.
I have one more question for you. In life, we meet people who make us write a song. We meet people who make us write 10 songs.
I see where this is going.
Yeah, you can. We could be together with someone for 5 years and, we're inspired to get 2 songs. You meet someone for 2 days and you make 8 songs.
Right.
Are there any ghosts in your mind still wanting satisfaction from a song that you have not yet written?
I think so. There are certain individuals I can think of. Former flames, but also family members, because they do influence a lot.
Okay, yeah.
But no one's going to be like writing songs about their family members and explicitly saying it's,
Right.
No one does that.
Right.
Yeah.
Until they pass.
Until they pass. Then you're like, well, fair game now.
How do you deal with that kind of censorship, like internal censorship? You can't say that because your uncle or your, whatever. You can't say that because your friend. How do you deal with that if you want to write a song?
Honestly, I try to just get over that mental block, because I don't want to silence myself with music. I silence myself in daily life. I don't want to have to do it in this one thing that's mine. And I think for me, my motto is that it's probably easier to just say I'm sorry than to censor myself.
Okay, right, yeah.
So if they find out, then they're like, sorry, yeah, it's about you.
Yeah, it's
Anyway,
it's
how are you?
It's easier to say you're sorry than to ask for permission,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So that's my mode of conduct, I guess.
Your audience in Japan, you're playing in Tokyo mostly. That's going to be, I'm guessing, let's say half Japanese, half foreign. Does that audience have any influence on what you're going to write in the next 6 months?
I would say so. I mean, they influence a lot of how I perform. In terms of what I write, possibly. I don't think I can speak and write Japanese, but I don't think it's a hard language for me to write lyrics to, just because the nuances and things like that, it's very different. So I don't know that I would be writing a Japanese song anytime soon, but definitely they would influence, certain things that I write about, yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah. You have an album called Parks and Cafeteria.
Yes.
That's right?
Yes,
You released that in
2012, I think?
2012?
Yeah.
Is it available anywhere online for our thousands of viewers at home?
I apologize, but I took it offline because I wanted... Because I wanted to make room for more improved versions of the songs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because some of the songs I feel have matured and changed a little bit.
Thank you.
We're
definitely waiting.
Coming soon, I hope.
All right, well, stay tuned for the second set from Martin Leroux. Everyone, let's give him a big round of applause.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for being here.
Is my voice coming through as the silence dilutes the sound? I can hear you. Yeah, you say what you mean, but I can't let it sink in now. I wanna say to you all that I feel to you, but it's not coming through. If you could just see right through my eyes, the separated lies. If you could just see right through my eyes. There's a story told between these lines that separate our lives. The separated lives. The separated lives. Can you see me? Or have I just been blurred into images, words, and sounds? I can see you, but could you give it your all, just to break through my walls and grounds? I wanna talk to you, but it's not coming through. If you could just see right through my eyes, the separated lies. If you could just see right through my eyes.
Thank you all for watching the Music Room sessions. Please like and subscribe, and if you have any comments, please leave them below on the YouTube page. We'd like to thank Infinity Books for allowing us to have this event. You can visit their website at infinitybooksjapan.com.